All right, everybody, welcome to the July 20th, 2026 Airport Advisory Board Committee meeting. Start off with roll call. Who's here? Ian? Here. I'm here. Martin Pike. Richard Brexton.
Here.
AJ Lewis.
Here.
Paul Hibbert.
Here.
Steve Mulberry.
Here.
Got a quorum. Item number 2, we're gonna jump straight in with approving minutes from January 2026 or January 26th, 2026, and minutes from 18 May of.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from January 26th and May 18th, 2026 as written.
I second that.
All for the question, Ian.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Paul Hibbard.
Yes.
Richard Bruxton.
Yes.
I also agree. Aye as well. Right along to item number 3, recognize persons in the audience. If you'd like to speak for.
Ed Thompson. Looking at the agenda item for parking fees. These do seem to be a little bit high. Others are, don't know what numbers went into that, so I can't comment farther on that. I just ask the committee and ultimately the city council to include a waiver to these fees for the Civil Air Patrol aircraft. It's currently waived. I looked for it in the regulation and the ordinance, couldn't find it. I believe it's in a resolution, which I couldn't find, but it was approved 10 years ago. Civil Air Patrol is a public service agency, nonprofit, run by volunteers. And it would be an expense that we would have to get from members or from donations. The city does donate to other charitable organizations. The Civil Air Patrol is a 501c3. So to me, it would be easier just to waive that fee as it has in the past. Civil Air Patrol can continue to help and save lives, disaster response, find cadets, teaching cadets. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Is there anybody else who would like? Number 4, department head comments and reports. Do you have anything, Lee?
I mean, I give an update on what.
Okay, so we'll come to that next then. So the only thing I have is the tie down fee notice that you had. This was put together by the airport manager and I based on the local airports that we've observed. This is an item that has been directed to be addressed by our city council. So we have sat down, done a draft. The draft has been presented to the city council at the last meeting. They approved of the draft and it will be going forward for public hearing. At that point in time is where those issues can be addressed at the public hearing. So that's what I have for that.
Do you know if these were drafted? Did the airport manager get looped in on that?
Yeah, he was the key player. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
City fees and a non-city fee residents. So looking into the regs a little bit, that might be a little discriminatory. Because how does the airport that receives federal grant money say that you live here, you get this fee and that fee? So in the past, it's been done like that, whether it was a city fee and I would like to see, because of that, get up. Just the issue. I have to go. I think that should be, something that think about.
So is this a time when we get to discuss this? I mean, what's the
It
plan?
has to be in the public hearing.
Okay, so there's nothing we're doing other than being presented with it.
You're
There's
being
nothing
notified. Now,
Okay.
you can, as the body, you can put a recommendation to the city council at the public hearing, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is where we should be talking about
If that's
what our
yes.
response. Okay.
That would be the one thing that I, in this list. The city, not realizing that that could be a little issue. So they had it previously, that's why there's a difference of a city and a non. Took it upon myself to deep dive a little bit more into it and then. That a wise thing to do.
Yeah, so you're thinking a recommendation to just make it a
Flat fee.
not based on where you reside. Yeah. Can you tell me what the commercial operator is? It's a new fee, right? So,
Yeah, so what the airports now, they have like, let's say an ad company shows up at night. And they're gonna operate out of Mountain Home Airport. Operator, they leave. But now, the thing that the Mountain Home Airport that I know of has in place is to go get a business license. A lot of airports have it to where you're a commercial operator, you really don't want to operate at that airport, pay for that service at the airport. That's what that would be. If somebody comes in and wants to do something, and it can always be waived. But like some of them are coming in at night on purpose. They leave a mess and then we end up cleaning.
Right.
So that's why if there was some money generated, if we hit them on that, then we could use that back at the airport.
Could you elaborate just real quick? What kind of mess is being left?
One I showed up the next day and it was actually a new hangar, Paul.
Yeah.
You weren't there yet, but right off to the side on the grass, they were loading chemicals and everything, dragged mud in. Then, we're in there at the time, but I get there and I'm like, what the hell is this? I start calling around and looking into it. I found out that somebody showed up at night, night stuff. And I called him up on my dudes, he left the mess he did. Where did you get the water? Cause the water's another one, so cause they're supposed to get a meter.
Right.
So there are all these things that are supposed to go into place. And then the other thing is, operator, there's nothing set in stone in this. But the area is blowing up to a certain degree. And it's just like ag operators. Bring an ag operator in the Mountain Home Airport, really should have a little payment area. So just the other day, the firefighting plane, they were loading the retardant, didn't turn it off, and it blew out the top everywhere, right? So, and they have a containment area. So for EPA, for the cities, I'm looking out for the city because I don't want to, like a hazardous waste site showed up there. But, have an issue and then we got to clean it up.
so are you trying to, is this fee gonna like discourage guys from doing those kinds of operations?
Or
Or,
come here.
yeah,
But so now, for one, they have to have a process, make sure they got insurance.
Mhm.
Commercial operators supposed to do that. There's no commercial operator that I've talked to that won't pay the fee.
okay. And that's why my next question was like, how you plan to enforce the fees on these guys that come in at night, do this and then split? That's the, like,
Yeah,
so you figured out who it was, then
yeah.
go for it. Okay.
Well, yeah, I we're all the way back from, hey, to help clean up, even though I already did this.
Okay. And then is there any way to figure out, like, so you give me the examples of what it's intended for? Could it be applied to other commercial operators who are not ag guys? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It could be anybody that wants to be there, that's a daily, like, somebody that's doing sonar work. Because like I said, every other, like you, for instance, have a license with the city.
Yeah.
So, why should somebody else be able to business there? And then there's no control of what they're doing.
so this would be like a non-licensed commercial operator is what you're talking
Well,
about.
they should still be licensed to do whatever they have to, but that's not.
Well, I meant like
You
a
mean with the
business
city?
license. Like I have a business license with the city,
Well,
so
with
these
the
would be
city, 'cause
non-licensed.
You're a permanent established hard building, right?
Right.
So that type of an individual should have business license with the city of Mount Hope.
Yeah.
this would be, you know, they're coming in, they're certified, they have business license, they have insurance. They want to now conduct business.
For a day, for a
On a
week.
temporary basis,
Yeah.
you know, whatever, yeah.
Basis.
Okay.
There should be a-
Yeah, I just would like that kind of detail put
Yeah,
into
yeah,
this somewhere
yeah,
so that we
yeah.
can, yeah, that's fine. To make it clear, like this is who applies to and who it doesn't apply to. Okay, cool. And then, so the numbers, what do these fees go to? What do you guys use them for?
Operation and maintenance of the airport.
Okay. And so the numbers that are on here, was that balanced against some sort of expenses? Well, okay, so it's just compared to other airports nearby. Okay. So it wasn't like, hey, these are what our needs are as far as expenses at the airport, and we want to charge these fees because I think we're going to cover our expenses using these numbers. It's not that way.
These would not-
Okay.
Our airport is almost fully operated by the FAA. We don't
Yeah.
even come near.
Okay.
Yeah, these would just be, you know, a couple of the airports that I did research on in the state of Idaho. They haven't updated their fees since 2019. These fees are actually less than their fees.
Yeah, well, my individual experience, I had to take my Aero for its 2-year checks up in Caldwell, and they charged me for a week on the ramp, and it was $6 a day. So $15 a day seemed more than, and Caldwell's probably one of the busiest GA airports around. And so what are some examples of other airports you guys looked at that had fees that were like this or higher?
Any other port, but there was always rate. You buy fuel.
When you buy fuel, you
buy
bet.
fuel.
Yeah. And I see that's in here as well. I just didn't know how what was the magic behind creating the numbers that came out of
And
it.
then the other thing is, all this money goes back to the airport.
Yeah.
By the airport.
Right, it goes into all that, I get it, yep, so it'll change color. So anybody else have any questions about the numbers?
Yeah, I got, why are we picking on the turbine guys? Why is their fee so high? What's their plane do different than,
Standard aviation.
well, I mean, you coming in with your new carbon cub with that turbo prop on it. Why should we?
This is,
I mean, that's just the way it is. Nothing's cheap in aviation.
Well, I know, I
It's
just,
associated with everything. Why should the city taxpayer of Mountain Home pay for somebody flying in here, leaving a mess on the apron when they just put 250,000 on service?
well, I understand, but it's, couldn't the, regular piston pounder Super Cub do the same thing?
well, all these fees are less than what I was paying 20 years ago at Palo Alto, by the way.
I'm just making a comment. Why is
Yeah.
turbine
It's like
power so much more than a piston pounder? Why is it?
You can go right now on flight alert. You can pull up fees at any airport and it's separated from piston and turbo. On every fee that's out there.
Okay.
So, you know, is that, I have to use some standard of methodology, right? I just can't say, I think everything should be this fee. Try to use a baseline.
So the $100, expense, like if somebody spends money in Mountain Home, how are you guys gonna do that? Like like, it's gonna be just case by case, like they're gonna come in and go, hey, I went and had some,
A lot of things are case by case. We don't have a control system in place right now like other airports do.
Right. For
That have
collecting
100% checks and balances. So, I mean, are we gonna make this 100% perfect? But we have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is, I don't think the taxpayer should be paying for people having airplanes.
yeah, well. Unfortunately, we have an FAA that pays for the opportunity to go fly, and so they pay for things at the airport and stuff, so, I mean,
Sure.
yeah, so.
Yeah, but
It's,
that's federal grant money.
right, but it's not like Canada, right? It's not a fee for service type of operation, right? Generally speaking, so, so it's all philosophy. For us, it's just a matter of, are these numbers high enough, low enough? And how are we gonna enforce it? That's really kind of the. So, you guys happy with this? Is it okay? Good with the numbers? Too high, too low?
All of these are going to be discussed anyway at the council meeting.
Yeah,
So-
so for us, the recommendations are what, I guess, is what I'm asking. I think we ought to
I would
make sure
think-
that we define what a commercial operator is far is this, how that applies. It needs to just be better defined. And then just how do we plan on enforcing it? Like what's the plan to try and collect these fees is, because that can really turn some people off.
I think it'd be pretty straightforward.
What
If
hikes
you,
always come with.
if you have $100 worth of like hotel or whatever, and you go out to get your airplane and you're going to leave, and Tom's out there and he just, here's my receipt, you're good to go.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, so are you going to be standing by the planes trying to collect fees for people as they're trying to leave? That's,
You don't get that much traffic. Unless it's operators, like commercial, that are willing to spend the money anyway. I mean, I have not yet had any operator since I've been here that like make a big complaint about having the papers. Ever. Matter of fact, they've come back, operators, you know, the surveying company with the Durham, the mag business, back in the caravan.
Yeah.
That organization's been here 3 times because they're so happy with the town, with the health situation, with the airport situation, with the.
and they're not going to be, they're not going to have an issue with the $200 a day
Yeah.
rent fee.
They're less. They think it's cheap. They think it's really great. So then they, you know, told their other company, the others, that they, I don't, I saw the helicopter with big sonar looking around and flying around. 75-foot diameter. The same company, just another division. I'm expecting them from this year. So I mean, you know, the operators probably notice more big helicopter than operator, jet operators. Sovereign citation coming in. Those people are used.
Yeah.
They like the small.
Yeah, I was just wondering how the
Well,
mechanics are trying to.
I'd like to say, you know, when I flew corporate, we flew a King Air Conquest 441 and a Pilatus PC-12. And wherever we went, it was just normal. When you lay over somewhere, you go in, you settle up, you pay your fuel bill, and you settle up on your tie downs, parking, and you expect it. Nobody even raised an eyebrow over it. It's just. So if anybody's bringing a jet, a King Air or anything, they're going to expect, there'll be no, they won't raise any revolt over any of these fees, I don't think.
And I don't expect that. What I expect is the small guys who are, they're flying in their Mooney for the night, you know, whatever it is. And that there hasn't been, they've never had one collected on them before, even though there is one. Are we going to start enforcing that? That's what I'm wondering about. Is there going to be like a change in how you approach people that come to the airport in order to collect these fees? Because now they're not trivial, right?
Yeah, but like, we've always waived the overnight fee.
If you get gas. Yeah. Okay.
Where they're going to that. Not a Gestapo.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to make sure we avoid.
It hasn't been because people are coming in now and they're going up and using the hotel rooms and they're about $800 tips.
Okay.
And I can tell you the feedback that I get previous is totally different from them than that. They're like me or not.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant. Like one day the Marine gentleman has a jet landed here. Leave. This is the place. Just the wings shot down. Weather came through, so use my Jeep to turn the jet, the citation around. Talking about, you know. So I told him, just did more out in the rain than anybody else would do.
Yeah, I said, I just want to make sure we're not going to change the way that approach is happening because the fees are higher,
I'm
right?
leaving tabs on.
Okay, that's what I was after. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're not doing it.
Never been the
If
intention.
somebody doesn't want to pay the $15 and leave, I'm not gonna. Never start and chase it down.
Yeah. Okay,
You know, and burn $500.
some guns on that.
Yeah.
Might be fun though.
So sounds like the, maybe we could argue a little bit higher, a little lower, or whatever for fees. I don't know. I'm not an economist or a businessman. But it sounds like one of the questions would still be, they would need to pass this by the FAA to get their opinion on city versus.
They don't have
They
any-
won't give us an answer.
They want us to make money.
They won't
That's
give
their
us an
direct
answer.
They would say, why, what are the students not doing this?
Yeah, okay, so let's say that I've got an airplane in for maintenance and I have to put it outside for a night. What am I gonna be charged? So how many maintenance tie downs do you have?
I pay you.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know how that worked out. Okay,
I get that.
Okay.
Whether the planes are there or not, right, have a place. No, I'm not due for that because I'm a customer anyway.
Yeah.
Whether it's there or not, I'm not gonna go to the city and charge a month. I don't mind the city making money.
So should we, recommend that we, only have one fee schedule as opposed to in city and out of city?
It's your decision to make. I don't know why you're looking at me.
I'll make a motion that we simplify the fee schedule.
Need to clarify, it's not an action item.
Yeah, it's not an action item, it's a recommendation.
Right, but if you guys want to do a draft a letter, you don't need a motion for that. You just need to draft a letter and select a spokesman to go to public hearing and speak.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Is there anybody who would like to draft a letter? And or speak?
I don't know when the council meeting is for this one.
August 11th, 2026 at 5
Here
PM.
on the 11th, so I can't go, but I'd be happy to draft a letter.
Okay.
Which fee schedule do we want to use? I assume you pick one or the other and say, everybody gets this number, what number would that be?
I personally, I like the idea. I've always liked the idea of just one flat fee. Everybody pays the same thing. I think it makes it simple and easy. I've always had the same question about, is it discriminatory? Is it not? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. But I don't know about the rates. If it's okay, I would like to dig into it a little bit and just do a comparative around, what's in the local area.
So at
Just, yeah,
at the.
Yeah.
That's less than almost anybody else that I know.
yeah.
That's still low at the $300.
Yeah, I'm sure the numbers are fine. I don't know for my own, situation. Yeah, for my own situation awareness, I was kind of curious where we fall in with things.
Next time.
I myself, if we're gonna draft a letter, totally in favor of one flat fee, and then I don't have a hard and fast on the numbers unless anybody else has heartache about it one way or the other.
I just
I
go
would
with the
just like
city
to-
numbers and say the city numbers are gonna be the flat fee for anybody, whether you're a resident. or
Yes,
not.
yes,
All good.
yep, I like that.
So
I can get a meeting.
I could probably do August 11th too.
So the single fee schedule, and for me, I just want more detail about what are we really calling a daily commercial operator, and just so that we are clear on how that gets applied.
That would
Okay.
be probably something that needs to be defined by legal, I think.
Sure, I'm sure Paul could take a look at.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's a recommendation too, so we could put forth, hey, here's our recommended idea of how we elaborate on what a daily commercial operator is. Use it, don't use it, whatever your lawyer says. Right? I mean, that's on them. All we could do is make a recommendation and then,
I'll draft something up and then you guys can say, what do you want to add or take away from that?
perfect.
Commercial operator is.
I'm good.
So-
I'm good with that.
So the commercial operator basically is excluding flight instruction into that field?
And we have a city business
Non-
license, like an
non-local
annual
based.
business license,
Non-
No, it's anybody flying in here to do pattern work and they fill up and get fuel or whatever.
No.
No,
Yeah.
this is somebody that's gonna actually come here to do business,
Right.
like set up for it to do business. Not a.
Not bring a student down to shoot an RNAV approach and then bounce
Right.
out. Okay.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I hope not.
Cross country so they can have lunch, right? Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. I'll probably actually write like a specific exclusion for that kind
All right.
of thing. Just
Air National Guard about to get a big bill.
Ted's brought up something here, he just handed me, he says, maybe we can do, these turbines based on weight versus. You got a Gladys versus a Super Cub with a turboprop in it, or I've seen, Luscomate A's that had a turboprop put in them. So it's, understand, I just don't like the, hitting them with the extra fee, but I'm just
You want to write something up that has like weight categories?
try and write something up and maybe incoherent, but I'll try it.
I mean, I look at it if you wanted to draft something and send it out.
Yeah.
Take a
You
look
don't
at
get
it.
anything over 12.5 here. Any airplanes over 12.5? Is that citations? I mean, that's usually the dividing line. They're
Yeah,
kind of
even
above 12.5 and under 12.5. Are they? Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to like split it? So like anything over 12.5 instead of turbine or not turbine, just if it's over 12.5, it gets the higher rate. And if it's below, that seems to be a normal dividing line I've seen
It
in
is,
other
but it's
places.
not, because look at fees, right? They used to be pretty common to do it that way.
Yeah.
Now a lot of the trends is by size, and they just go light piston, piston, and they even break it down that far, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We could sit here
No,
and
I've been
break this down, but that was coming. But, they break it down. Single engine, piston, then it goes into turbine, engine turbine.
Yeah.
And large scale, right? Then they break it into the. So it depends on how nitty gritty you want.
Yeah.
I think if you go by weight, that's gonna be more complicated in the long run, actually, is turbine and non-turbine is just pretty straightforward.
Is that what you guys feel?
Keep it simple. I mean, these are not exorbitant fees in any way, shape or form. And if you're burning kerosene, if you're complaining about $40, you said the word airplane, it cost you 100. You're talking about separating that rich guy from his money. You're not flying a turbine if you can't afford it, or at least not for long.
Do we want to carve out an exemption for Civil Air Patrol operations?
Civil Air Patrol or any other nonprofit. I think if you have a nonprofit getting a tie down for free, buy fuel on the field.
Yeah, so you're talking about like people doing like dog flights and taking cancer patients places as well, right? I mean, like, so anything that's a charity.
If they're buying fuel on the field, then I think, then we'll leave it up to the airport manager to be able to waive the fee.
Tell you this, I would advise that you watch the last day of the budget meetings when the city council was very clear that there were no handouts unless presentations are made to the council during the budget cycle. And the tie down fees were removed at the direction of the city council for the CAP waiver that was directed by council.
The waiver was removed, or the
The
fees
waiver was removed as a direction of the council because the council is not going to endorse, and this is my opinion on this part, endorse any free parking at the airport, just like they took away all the free gifts that they were giving out from the golf course. That's just what they said at the last budget meeting. That's what drove that to be removed. It's the city council.
Okay, so
So I just heads up.
you bet. So that's a sense of the council. Does that change what do we want to still say we'd like to have charitable organizations or not?
Yeah,
All I can do is say no. I mean,
Yeah, I'm just saying, no.
sounds like the city council is not going to entertain it, so.
No, and they will listen to you. They will entertain it, but I can't guarantee they're gonna say yes or no on it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that during the last budget cycle, there are several agencies that Mr. Thompson brought up that do get donations from the city. Those agencies have agreements with the city and they come and do presentations, quarterly presentations of the city. And they make budget requests at the beginning of the year so that the city council can review those and approve or disapprove them. Any of the agencies that haven't followed that pattern and don't have anything in writing as far as resolutions have been denied.
What is the next budget cycle presentation?
The next budget cycle begins next June.
Next June. So how about this? I'd be okay with this. Let's see if they would entertain the idea, and they may not. They can come back. All it is a recommendation. I would be okay with asking city council if they would carve out an exception for Civil Air Patrol until the next budget cycle at June, at which time Civil Air Patrol can come and do a presentation, and then they continue if they want to continue that on past June.
That's smart.
That would be my recommendation, just because they're changing now. But if anybody has a better idea or think it's a waste of time, let me know. But that's what I think. Then I would leave out all the other charitable ones, and I would just say right now Civil Air Patrol is the one that's getting it. So let's see if they would be willing to entertain it from now until June. And June, then they can follow the normal budget cycle and do a presentation with everybody else.
I'm happy with that. Anybody else have any objection to that?
No, I think that's a good idea.
I'm just gonna say,
That's fine.
we just paid a lot of money for items.
That's your right. We'll just make the recommendation. If they say no, at least we asked.
But I think that's smart.
Okay, so in the letter, what I have then is a definition of commercial operator fee, carve out, and then there was a third thing, and I'm not sure I got it on here. Because my brain is not very
Simplifying the fee schedule.
simplifying fee schedule. That's it. So that's up here. Okay. So those are the three things that'll be in the letter.
They're still considerably cheaper than I've been. Of Idaho.
Any more deliberation on tie downs? Moving on to old business, FAA funding and projects.
We do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two open grants right now. One is for the hangar. Construction's done there, contractor's been paid. It's just in closeout of the documentation to get the final. That one's done. For the pavement maintenance project, we're steel coated and crack sealed the pavement out there. Construction's done there except for the final pavement marking, so second coat will go down. That's gonna be after the done their fire sequence. September.
It was a slow start, but
Everybody likes it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, haven't had
Very
feedback,
nice.
so,
Yeah, it's all getting baked in right now.
Yeah.
How long do you see the airport closed for the final?
It shouldn't be just, I mean, they have one day, but I'd be surprised if it takes them all day to go through.
What services are you gonna go over again?
Everything they got,
Everything.
everything on this
Okay,
one. Yep.
got it. All right.
So,
those flags down, right?
what's that? And this one will have beads.
Yeah, this
in
will
it,
have-
So it'll be
okay.
retro reflective this
Nice.
time, so. Put down. So that's it for the FAA funding. I guess if we had a little warranty for if it was done on the. But that's one pretty done. And then as far as like the next project that's coming up, so next year, we'll start design on lighting.
Better is that?
The stuff on the side. Yeah. Taxiway, runway lighting. Right. The FAA's thing.
That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet.
That would be sweet.
New business, set the new meeting date,
I have a question. real
next
quick
meeting date.
for the next business. A while ago, we had toyed with the idea of airport protection zone, talking about areas inside the county that already fall within the county's airport protection zone. Asking the city to make a ruling that if anybody annexed into the city, that they would come over underneath the same airport protection as if they were in the county still. Did we ever end up pursuing that all the way through? If we didn't, I would like to see if we could add that back.
That got dropped. Never any action, and it just,
Perfect. I'd like to add that back, and we can talk about it next meeting.
Subject new business too. I was, so clearly we're developing the airport, right? So there's new hangars that are going up and stuff like that. And the question that has come up repeatedly because of the particular situation with Hangar 9 is infrastructure, city infrastructure for airport development and specifically electric, water and potentially sewer. Is there any plan or future plans for any of that?
not sewer anytime soon. Water is feasible, but there's no written plan for it. At this point, sewer is gonna be astronomically expensive because we're gonna have to bring it from the corner of Chevron or from Bunchies. So there's not even a draft plan.
Yeah, so the experience with Hangar 9 is about the electric, for example, like being able to branch to different feeders and stuff that's going on for development. And like we're tapped out as far as the electric can go on that side of the airport. There is no more, unless you run another main line.
Transport.
Yeah, then we're done. So my concern is I don't want to stifle potential development at the airport. So I feel like we ought to be thinking about where's the electric and water going to go in the next phase of, like, because we're where we are now with this kind of stranglehold with the electric because there wasn't a plan in place for any development on the east side of the airport. So I don't know. I just want us to think forward about that and maybe make a proposal about what we should be doing in the next 5 to 10 years to help develop this airport, because you're running out of room up in the Treasure Valley. People are going to want to build down here and they're going to want electric, they're going to want water, and honestly, they're going to want sewer.
What drives that, Chris? That's like a hell
So
of a
tip,
$1 million question.
yeah, so typically in the city infrastructure, growth drives and the developers are the ones that pay. And that's where the struggle is, that we don't have an income at the airport that will pay for that type of infrastructure. Right? Everywhere else it's paid for by the developers that come in.
I guess that's a question too, a big one. Like, are we going to let a developer say, hey, I'm going to take 85 acres of your land and I'm going to put in hangars? But what do they get out of it? Because they certainly don't get the land. They don't get the opportunity to get a 20-year lease to be able to rent those hangars out, a 25-year lease to rent those hangars out at whatever they want. And then the airport doesn't see any income from it because they put in the sewer and stuff.
I've talked to some developers about development.
Yeah.
The big turnoff is they don't.
Yeah.
But that's every airport.
Every
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah, so
That's why nobody does it.
and that's why I feel like the city has an obligation to do it. So we need to start thinking about how that's going to happen, because people are going to want to come down here and build. And then
Well, it comes
it's
down to
how.
the funding piece. So how are you gonna fund?
Great question. So
Doesn't make any money as it is. So.
Right.
It's definitely a worthwhile conversation.
and that's what I'm after is what are we doing to grow this
Yes,
place?
because that whole area is the south of what like.
Yep.
That big lot there could be actually put it out, but then
But there's no electric,
there's no electric, there's no power.
right? And there's no capacity to get it unless you run another line
Right,
from.
unless you're- I mean, you'd have to be crazy, filthy rich to run the power. Idaho power's not easy to do.
Right.
That's the other issue.
That's my question on that. I want to kind of figure out what we can do. I think it's a project that we should originate. I don't.
So is that, so you know,
Yeah, so there's what I understand is a certain maximum number of branches you can run off a certain line, and Nate wants to build a hangar on the other side of that pad at Hangar 9, and that's the last run. He's actually very lucky that they would even allow him to do what he's doing, to put 2 meters off of one line and branch a line over to the other property. That's it. They're like, you're done after that. There's no more electric
what about on the
branching
other side?
available.
It's like the markets.
I think it's all the same. I think it's all the east end that is done. So unless they run a new branch to the area south of where our hangar's at, you're not going to have a power there. And so that's a big deal. I mean, like, that's expensive.
So is that a item you want added as an action item?
Yeah, the action item is just how do we approach infrastructure development at the airport? And I don't have the expertise on that, but I feel like we need to have expertise.
When is the master plan, being updated for the airport?
When are we doing that one next? It's a couple years. Working on is good through 31.
They're doing a good 10 to 15 years. So
And that's what I'm trying to remember. That one's good through, I think it's 31.
it's nice one, but
Yeah, exactly. Before my time, so. But I'll look into that. I'll send an update out to the committee and let them.
How many people are on your gas line?
I don't know the answer to that. I think the hangar next to yours,
You is tapped in.
and I think that's it, because there's no gas next door to me. I mean, my hangar 2 doors down has got a tank because there's no gas. Yes, and I feel like the further we get ahead of it, the better we're gonna be. But who's gonna develop it, right? I mean, it's like a self-licking ice cream cone that doesn't go anywhere.
It's every airport. Travel that I do, airports that I see that are developed, that like surprise you, or they have a heavy hitter there. Like to a place in Arkansas, but then the hell was this? Hangars were insanely huge. They're talking to them, said, yeah, fire for helicopter too, and we got 4 troops coming.
Yeah.
So that whole FBO is basically funded through business corporations, whatever it takes to pull power.
Well, like Gooding, it's an individual, right, that supplies, develop, right, and then he's renting the hangars out, so it's like a person who's developing it individually. So I don't know, that's another model.
That's what it takes, but it takes somebody that's willing, that's
Long term. Okay.
Next meeting date.
According to the schedule, it would. That would be the 3 month.
Great.
Said October 18th, 19th. Yeah. It's for me.
Works for me.
Anybody opposed to that? October 19th?
Works for me.
We don't need to do anything else for that. Just
At this point, we're good. Do you have the agenda items that were added? Agenda items come up, I just need to know so I can get it added to the agenda and published.
Anybody else have any more agenda items they'd like to see? Okay, with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.